So I get asked all the time how to develop your play style as a hooper. We all kind of want to work towards that signature play style where we know exactly what works for us. We know exactly how we move, what our best skills are, what our best moves are, what our go-tos are. And I think the big thing to understand here is that we don't want to copy anyone else's play style, but we want to make sure we're developing that signature play style that works best for us. So I'll give you guys 3 tips as to how you can find your own play style and then develop it from there. Let's get into it. So number 1 is analyzing your game, all right? What are your overall best skills? Are you great at shooting off of the catch? Are you a great mid-range shooter? Are you really athletic in terms of kind of finishing at the rim, being acrobatic? Number 2, what do you feel most comfortable doing? You may be really good at shooting to the left on your pull-ups. To the right, it's a little bit sketchy, so that means you're gonna be probably finding ways within your play style to get to that left. Number 3, what would you consider your go-tos, right? This could be moves, this could be techniques. I like to consider this kind of setups, all right? So when we look at a certain player's play style, let's say Ja Morant, for example, one of his go-tos is kind of backing up and then setting up off of that forward momentum. You look at a guy like KD, or really just a lot of guards in general, they'll kind of hang that ball and then set that move up from there and get into it, whatever counters, whatever shots, whatever moves you want to do off of that. Number 3, what is your athleticism profile? So this kind of comes down to, are you quick enough to the point where you can keep it really simple? And your play style would be very bare bones. You don't have to do much off the dribble. You can just kind of attack hard off the dribble because you're so damn fast and agile that you can just get downhill on anyone. Or are you more of a Luka Doncic style player who's fast, you know, they're agile, they're able to move laterally, but you have to be a little bit more calculated, a little bit more deceptive. Right, this can also go for finishing around the rim, right? If you're crazy bouncy and you can just kind of raise up on anyone, you'll probably keep it more simple, more acrobatic in mid-air, whereas if you're a little bit shorter, you're a little bit stockier, you're not getting as high off the ground, you'll probably be a more contact-based finisher. This could be, you know, you have long arms, so you're really getting wide with your dribble. This could be you're really coordinated, so you're doing a ton off of the dribble. You could have that quick pop off the ground. You can move well laterally. Just consider who you are as an athlete, even without the ball in your hands, and this is gonna help feed into what your playing style is. And then finally, what do most players with your general frame or qualities have as a common denominator? And this kind of leads us into the next one, which is taking from others, but like I mentioned at the beginning, not necessarily copying from these players verbatim. So I see a lot of players who are, say, shorter guards. So they automatically just try to kind of copy and paste another playing style, whether that's Isaiah Thomas, whether that's my guy Chris Likes, just kind of taking that playing style, watching everything they do, only watching those attention to detail videos, and literally just trying to copy and paste to their own game. And in some capacity, this is good, right? I think we actually need to be able to watch players, especially ones who are similar frames, similar athletes, similar go-to moves, all these type of things, and apply those into our own game. And that's a skill to be able to watch these players do that and then actually apply that onto the court. But if you get past taking pieces and you're again trying to do that copy and paste, you can be cutting yourself short of your own potential. Because at the end of the day, every athlete is different. Different physical qualities, different hooping history, right? Where did you grow up? Who did you watch playing? What moves were you doing since you were 8 years old? Every athlete has confidence in different things, right? Maybe you try to take a certain player's game, but you're just not that confident in some of the shots that they're shooting. So you're trying to shoot those shots over and over again in a game, but you just don't have that general level of confidence yet to be able to copy and paste that. Opportunities also come into play here. Maybe you're watching an Isaiah Thomas who has the ultimate green light, an MVP candidate in the NBA, but you don't have that same green light as him, so you're not able to take as many dribbles. You're not able to shoot the same shots, which is okay, but you also have to find the things that work within the opportunities that you have. Plus, there may be qualities behind those skills, those techniques, those moves that you don't really see with the naked eye that make them good at those things, and you may just not be there yet. So for instance, IT in his prime was an unbelievably stable athlete, so he was able to go up in mid-air, kind of bump a 7-footer here, stay stable in mid-air, and finish, which is amazing, right? This is an absolute world-class level of in-air stability. So we're gonna work to get to that point, and that's okay. We want you working on those qualities, maybe in the weight room or on the court. to get to this same point as IT. But if you're seeing this and you don't have the same level of in-air stability and you're only trying to bump them in the air, chances are you're probably gonna get knocked over, you're gonna be out of control on finishes. Whereas if you're able to see that and work towards it, but also kind of consider that you're probably gonna need to bump people when you're still on the ground, when you have more stability, this is probably gonna be more realistic for you. So you can take other areas of his game, and this can go for any player, but certain things that you may just not have the athleticism for yet, that's okay, you can work towards those things, but also work around these things for the time being. Then on the other side of that, if you get enamored with one player, you really wanna copy player X's game, and you're not watching other players because of that, you could be missing out on a ton. You could be leaving a ton of different techniques, skills, moves on the table that you could be pulling from other players' game. But since you're trying to copy and paste that play style, it's gonna be tough for you to do that. So what I would suggest here is watching a ton of different players, trying a bunch of different things against real defense, just getting in the gym, seeing what you can pick and choose from different athletes, and then seeing what sticks from there. And then lastly is always looking for expansion. I don't want you to get boxed into a certain playing style early. We all know the player who is, 6'3" in the 6th grade and they end up being the center. They're always put as center for their whole life. They get boxed into that play style. They're watching big men because they want to replicate what big men are doing. And then they don't grow, everyone catches up to them, they still play like a big man, but they're 6'3", and that's because they get boxed into that too early. And this can even go the flip side too. Let's say you're a small guard, you've always been used to playing like a shorter guard, then you end up hitting a growth spurt, you kind of catch up to everyone. At this point, if you only know how to play a shorter guard and you don't know how to use your height to your advantage as well, and you're not looking to expand your playing style, then it's probably gonna be a little bit tough to maximize your potential. So when I say always look for expansion, I don't mean always trying to get way outside of the box and do things that just don't fit who you are as an athlete, but I would suggest, even if you're a shorter guard, watching some SGA or some taller guards. Even if you're a big man, maybe watching some shorter scorers and trying to implement some of those kind of footwork techniques or foundations that they apply. So the more that you can take from players who are similar to you and bring those things into your game and create a play style through that, the better. But then also from there, at least 20% or so of the time, watching players who don't even fit your mold and seeing what you can take from them or seeing how you can expand to that point, that's how you're really gonna continue to expand your game and your play style as a hooper. So hopefully this makes sense. Again, number one is a full self-analysis. Who are you as an athlete? What's most comfortable? What's gonna work for you? From that, being able to take and pull certain techniques from other athletes, but not necessarily copying and pasting. That's number two. And then number three is just always looking to stretch yourself at least slightly outside of that box with your play style. So instead of trying to maintain the exact same play style for your entire career, being able to expand that maybe year by year, off season by off season, month by month is huge, because from there you become a way more versatile player, and who doesn't love a versatile player? So hopefully this all makes sense. Hopefully this will help you find and expand your playing style, which I think is huge, right? When we're comfortable with how we play, we know exactly what our bread and butter is. We're comfortable adding things into our game when it fits our play style. We're comfortable because we know when we're talking to a coach what our play style is. I think if you go through these 3 steps, you're gonna have a lot easier of a time finding these. So as always, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at ByAnyMeansBasketball for a lot more like this.